Okay, so what we're going to do now is abstract the ability to redirect a user with the standard header function in PHP. We're also going to build in a little extra functionality as well. And this is going to be redirecting to a 404 error to actually generate a real 404 error and then include a custom 404 message. Now we're eventually going to use this in the profile functionality if a user's profile doesn't exist, but we'll build this functionality in and create an example so we can see how this will end up looking. And the main thing we want to do here is remove the need to use the header function and pass this string like this into this function. So let's go ahead and define how we want to redirect. The way that we want to redirect is we want to basically just say redirect to somewhere, and in this case I'm just going to say index.php. So we're defining the file or the path that we want to redirect to. This can be anywhere, it can even be an external page, google.com or something like that. So now what we're going to do is actually start to build the redirect class. It's not too tricky at all. There's a little bit more functionality than you would normally that you think, but we only have one static method in here. So we have a public static function 2, and this has a location, and by default that's null. So we're going to in here check if the location has been defined. If it has, let's just go ahead and header location to the location, and we'll then exit. Okay, that's it. We'll introduce an additional check in here in a moment, but let's just check whether this works or not by registering another user. So I'm going to choose a username, enter password, and enter a name here and register, and we've been redirected to index.php as we've seen previously. So we've abstracted that, and that just makes it a little bit easier. The functionality that we've created just looks a little bit nicer. Redirect to index.php sort of reads like a sentence. Now in here we're going to give the ability to pass in a error, so 404 for example, and we're going to include a template which we can find in here. So includes errors 404, which we have open, include a template to be displayed as a 404 error. So we're dealing now with custom 404 messages. So what we're going to do is, this doesn't make sense, but for now, if a user registers successfully, we're going to redirect to an error page. Let's go ahead and modify our redirect functionality. So instead of redirecting to 404.php, we're basically just going to keep out on the same page. So we're going to stay on the register.php page. We're going to set the HTTP headers to 404 not found. We're going to include the error file and exit. So if is numeric, so making use of the PHP is numeric function. So if is numeric location, because if we're redirecting to a path, this is never going to be numeric. We then have a case 404 and break. We could add a default in here, but let's ignore that for now. So case 404, oh sorry, we obviously need to switch. We're going to switch the location. So case 404, well, what do we want to do here? Well, if we've been defined with 404, and the reason again that we're doing this is you might, for example, decide to include other error codes in here as well. But for 404, what we want to do is we want to set, using the header function, we want to set an HTTP 1.0 404 not found error. Then what we want to do is include a custom template, which will be includes errors 404.php, and we'll exit. Okay, simple as that. So now what we're going to expect is when we register a user, we're going to redirect to a 404, but not actually redirecting anywhere, we're just forcing an error here. So if we go back to register.php and we register a new user, so we've got a few users in here already. Let's just say password, and Shiba. So when we register now, includes. So let's just change that. Includes errors 404. Perfect. Let's just refresh there. So we've already registered this now, so let's go ahead and register a new user. So register, so that's now redirected to register.php, but we've actually generated a 404 error. So that's generated a 404 error in the browser. So all we need to do now in here is generate or say something like, oops, that page can't be found. Okay, so you could do this with errors as well. If there's some kind of error, you could generate a 502 or you know, whatever you want to do really in terms of your application. Let's again just say Bill password and Bill Garrett register. Oops, that page can't be found. So we can use this later on. We don't need to use it in this instance. In fact, all we need to do is redirect to index.php. But we've now built that class, so we can make use of this at some other point. So if a user's profile can't be found, we can redirect to a 404 error. So that's our redirect class all built and ready to go.